Why does everyone seem to say that journaling is life-changing? It can reduce stress, boost creativity and confidence. It can make you successful and strengthen your immune system. But doesn't it all kind of sound too good to be true? I've journaled on and off for years and I never felt like it was life-changing. But maybe consistency is the key. So I journaled for 90 days to see if it's as great as everyone says it is. And there are 6 key takeaways that I gathered from the experience. I wanted to start the first 30 days off with a bang, something that would make me commit. Morning pages. This is a technique from the book The Artist's Way, where basically you just write for 3 full pages nonstop first thing in the morning. What do you write? Whatever pops into your head. Now my overthinking brain was like, well, what sized pages should you use? What if I don't have anything to say? I learned pretty quickly that none of that mattered. The only thing that did matter was to keep writing. Now I found that the best option for me was using a regular spiral notebook. The pages are big enough, so yeah, you have to write more than just a few sentences, but also because it's just a plain old spiral notebook, I wasn't worried about messing up. Maybe you're like me in that if you use a really nice journal or notebook, you don't want to scratch anything out. You want it to be perfect. That's not what morning pages is about. Writing down your unfiltered thoughts and getting messy, it's all part of the whole morning pages process. This all leads to my first takeaway, which is to eliminate expectations of yourself. You don't need to be polished, and your journal does not need to look like all of the fancy journal inspiration that you see online. Get out of your own way and just start writing. When writing morning pages, there were some days where I had no idea what to write. And that's what I wrote about. Giving myself permission to write, I don't know what to say, it was so freeing. And usually it wouldn't be long until something else popped into my head, even if it was trivial. Now, of course, there were some days where writing 3 pages came very easily, especially if I was excited, grumpy, or pissed off about something. Taking the time to write everything down that was at the forefront of my mind really helped me process things and just clear out unnecessary energy. And you know those times where you can't stop thinking about something? Like how you're unsure whether you might have accidentally offended someone, or maybe you said something really stupid in front of an important person? I found this helped me move past those things faster. It's like when you have a song stuck in your head and the only way to get it out is to listen to it or sing it. If you know what I mean. Anyway, this all leads to my second takeaway, which is basically processing and writing down thoughts or feelings and clearing the clutter out of your mind can help provide mental clarity. The mornings where I had stuff to process or to just get out of my system was when I felt like journaling was most beneficial. But I noticed that at nighttime, after a full day of various stuff happening, was when I was most likely to have lots of stuff floating around my brain. So in those instances, morning pages didn't do me a whole lot of good. Overall, I really enjoyed doing morning pages, but let's be totally real. So it took about 20 minutes to do every morning, sometimes even a little bit longer. And with the sun coming up earlier and it's getting warmer earlier in the morning, I got 2 dogs that I gotta walk and I wanna beat the heat. So I think it was the perfect opportunity for me to find something that was gonna work best for me. So the big question was, what could I sustain and easily fit into my daily routine? So for the next 60 days, I focused on being flexible as far as how long I would write, when I would write, how much I would write, and the styles and the methods that I used. And I quickly learned that you may get different things out of a journaling experience depending on what time of day you do it. Journaling in the morning is easiest for me to sustain, but a lot of times I would just tend to resort to writing down the things that I needed to get done and thinking through that. And yeah, that's helpful, but maybe it would be more beneficial for me to write down my thoughts in the evening so I could dig into why that conversation rubbed me the wrong way, or why did I procrastinate on XYZ. Journaling at night was great for helping me clear my head before I went to sleep, but I was also less likely to want to do it. I think it's important to give yourself the space to try out different techniques and different styles to see what you like and what you find worthwhile. And I found that I like changing things up pretty often. On days where I remembered my dreams, I'd write them down. If there was something on my mind that I couldn't stop thinking about, I'd write it down. Sometimes I didn't have anything in particular to say, and so I would just write down what I was grateful for, or I would use a journal prompt. And even on the days where I did not feel like journaling, I stuck with it, and I just chose the most approachable or appealing method for me for that particular day. Now, when things are kind of uneventful or just kind of blah, This is when I found journaling to be least beneficial. There were plenty of days where I just felt like I was checking a box, but I still think there might be some benefit to it. If you're trying to establish a habit of journaling on a daily basis, there are gonna be days where you don't have a whole lot to say, and it's okay to be boring. And it lays the foundation for a habit that can be extra beneficial when you need it most. Sometimes you don't have anyone to talk to, or maybe you don't want to talk about certain things with anyone. Or maybe you've already talked to your friends or your partner's ear off about something and you don't want to drive them nuts. Journaling makes you confront what you're going through, and it makes it real. It's a safe space to be petty, grumpy, and vulnerable. Sometimes getting your thoughts on paper can be the ticket to moving forward and letting go. The funny thing is, I went into this experience thinking that the conclusion would be that journaling hasn't changed my life. But I'm realizing that that view was extremely short-sighted. Technically speaking, no, my life has not changed drastically. But I think journaling can be transformative in helping you better understand yourself and building a stronger relationship with yourself, especially if you are playing the long game and you don't hold back. You're establishing a safe space to release and express thoughts and feelings for your entire life. And some of those thoughts and feelings you may not want to share with others. I think if you go into journaling with the long game in mind, you're gonna have a better overall experience and you're gonna get more out of it. And it's also gonna help you get through the days where you don't feel like writing or you don't have much to say. Let me know what your thoughts are on journaling and if you have any key takeaways from your own experience. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I've picked out a few others that I thought you might enjoy. So I will see you in the next one.